The auction house was packed with traders, slavers, and off-world buyers looking for rare finds. Beneath the bright, artificial lights, a young woman stood on the elevated platform, bound at the wrists by metallic cuffs. Her silver hair was matted with dust, her sharp violet eyes dim with exhaustion. She had been transported from the outer colonies, a reject from the mines of Tryon 4, where her frail frame had proven inadequate for labor. A defective worker, the auctioneer droned, disinterested. Not much strength, no cybernetic enhancements, and limited formal education. A discard from the Syndicate's labor force. The crowd murmured. There was no real market for weak, unaugmented humans. People wanted efficiency, resilience, something that would provide a return on investment. Do we have a starting bid? The auctioneer pressed, scanning the room. Silence. The girl remained still, resigned. She had no name, no history, just another lost soul shuffled through the cold machinery of galactic commerce. The auctioneer sighed. Well then, let's start at nothing. Who will take her off our hands? The audience erupted in laughter. A human being sold for nothing? But then, a voice cut through the noise. I'll take her. The laughter stopped. The crowd turned toward the source of the voice. A man stepped forward, tall, clad in a dark long coat, his expression unreadable. His eyes were sharp, calculating. He didn't look like a slaver or a miner. He wasn't adorned with the insignias of a major corporation. Name? The auctioneer asked, suspicious. Kieran Dain, the man replied. The auctioneer hesitated. That name carried weight, though no one knew exactly why. Rumors surrounded Kieran. Some said he was an exiled scientist. Others whispered that he had been part of the Federation's experimental research division. Whatever the truth, he paid in full and took the girl without another word. Kieran's ship was sleek, a well-kept relic from forgotten war. The girl sat in the co-pilot's chair, hands still bound, waiting for whatever came next. You got a name? Kieran asked. She hesitated, then shook her head. Then I'll call you Nova. She stared at him, confused. A name meant something. It suggested purpose. Why did you buy me? She asked. Kieran leaned back, studying her. Because they were wrong about you. As the days passed, Nova realized Kieran wasn't like the others. He didn't force her to work or treat her like property. Instead, he tested her, pushing her mental agility, problem-solving, and reaction speeds. He introduced her to the ship's systems, letting her interact with the advanced AI that ran its core functions. You learn fast, he noted after she successfully rerouted a power conduit during a simulated emergency. I don't know why, she admitted. I was useless before. Maybe they were measuring the wrong things. He ran scans, took genetic readings, examined her neurological patterns. What he found shocked him. You're an echo, he murmured. Nova frowned. What does that mean? Echoes are rare. People with an innate ability to interface with technology at an instinctual level. The Syndicate didn't see your worth because they were looking for brute strength, not intelligence. Nova processed this. Her entire life, she had been told she was worthless. Yet, here she was proving otherwise. One night, alarms blared. A Syndicate warship had found them. We've been tracked, Kieran said, gripping the controls. They must have tagged you before the auction. They want you back. But they sold me, Nova whispered. They realized their mistake. A transmission crackled through. The Syndicate commander's voice was cold and precise. Return the girl. She belongs to us. She belongs to no one, Kieran growled. The warship fired. The ship shuddered under the impact. Nova, I need you, Kieran said, urgency in his voice. You're the only one who can get us out of this. Fear gripped her. She had never been trusted with something so vital. But then she saw it. The ship's systems weren't just machines. They were patterns, currents of information waiting to be shaped. She reached out, fingers brushing the interface. A surge of data flooded her mind. The ship responded to her touch, as if it were an extension of herself. She rerouted power, accelerated beyond the Syndicate's targeting systems, and engaged a hyperjump just as another blast tore through empty space where they had been. When the jump completed, they were safe. Nova collapsed, breathless. "You did it," Kieran said, steadying her. She looked up at him, something stirring inside her. "I was worth something." "You were always worth something," he corrected. Weeks passed. The Syndicate never stopped hunting them, but each time, Nova was ready. She had become more than just a survivor. She was a force of her own. With Kieran, she learned how to fight, how to outthink her enemies, and how to harness the power of her unique mind. And then, one day, she made a decision. "They'll never stop coming," she said. "But I won't run anymore." Kieran smiled. "What are you thinking? We take the fight to them." Together, they planned. They would infiltrate the Syndicate's core network, expose their corruption, and tear down the system that had deemed people like her worthless. As she stood at the helm of their ship, ready for battle, Nova realized she had been sold for nothing. But now, she was priceless.